I think the things that matter in Dabo Swinney's program is unlimited belief and unlimited trust in your coach. I'm here to tell you right now, the kids don't trust that program and people don't believe in that program. It's officially dead and gone. He cried on the sideline after losing to Syracuse in what was not a close game. So now on the Clemson docket, you have a loss to LSU, a win over Troy that was a very not good win. It was ugly. You should have lost the game, to be honest, and the rain delay might have saved you. A loss to Georgia Tech, and then a loss to Syracuse that wasn't even close.
He didn't lie.
No, but I'm saying they beat a top 10 team by 50.
Yeah.
Week 4 came and week 4 went. I'm Chris. That's Tyler. Tyler, we both were two of the few Ohio State fans that I think picked Michigan over Nebraska in what was a really good game, actually, to be honest, a really good game. And I felt like Nebraska in the Oklahoma game learned their lesson, maybe, and to be successful and to let Underwood be Underwood, they were going to have to open up the entire toolbox for him, and they did. Against Nebraska, he had a 37-yard touchdown run. He had 61 total yards on the ground, and he also threw for only 100 yards. But again, you got the full toolbox because Michigan's at their very best when the three-headed monster is running the ball. The 300 monster, Jordan Marshall, Justice Haynes. Collectively, the three of them rushed for 290 yards, big dog, and they took down Nebraska at home. This is a good win for Michigan. And,
Absolutely.
maybe this is because Biff Poggi, whatever, decided, you know what, like, I'm only coaching 2 games. I'm gonna use the quarterback. But he essentially laid the blueprint out for Sharon Moore and for the rest of the country. If you want to beat Michigan, you're not going to beat the bubble screen version of Michigan. You're going to have to beat the version that is going to pound you in. That's exactly what they did. Thoughts on the Michigan versus Nebraska win?
Well, it was very clear. Bryce Underwood threw it 22 times, and the Michigan team ran it for 31 times.
Yeah.
It was very clear what was going on. And the crazy part is like they are still able to create big plays in the running game. Mm-hmm. 75 yards, 54, 37. I mean, they averaged 9.4 yards per carry. That's crazy.
I'm telling you, dude, having the running quarterback opens up so many other things for your regular running backs. It just helps everybody move the chains.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know off the top of my head how many of those 8 carries were designed and how many were scrambles, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like they allowed him to run, and it showed, and it worked. This is the Michigan program we've seen for 15 years.
Right.
It's like they're just going to run the ball, and they're going to dare you to stop them. And any team that can actually stop them is probably going to beat them.
I made a comment after they lost to Oklahoma that this was a team that had like a clear identity crisis because why are you throwing bubble screens? You're Michigan.
Yeah.
Like why are you not running why do you have more bubble screens than you do quarterback rushing attempts when you have who a lot of people feel like is the best, most athletic quarterback in the country? And he might be.
Yeah.
Like he legit runs away from guys. And I don't know if this team looks so different stylistically because Biff decided. But I mean, there was a point, man, in the fourth quarter when they had that 7-minute drive.
Yep.
And it's like you're just watching the clock go down and down and down and first down, body blow.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah. Like this should have been the identity of what a Sharon Moore team should have been because he's an offensive line coach. The fact that they ever decided to give their life to the bubble screen and they don't have receivers like Ohio State. I was mad when Ohio State ran bubble screens and we ran them shits with We ran them shits with Marvin Harrison Jr. in them. So I'm going to be mad as hell watching Michigan run bubble screens if I'm a Michigan fan because we don't have Marv. Our Marv at home is Samaj Morgan. And smart, cool guy, whatever, but not very good. Not very good.
It's the worst. It's one of the worst receiving corps in the country.
Right. They're bad. And here we go. Like, they should be bad because there's nothing they've shown any recruits over the past decade that would show, hey, look, come here if you're a receiver and we're going to open this thing up for you. I mean, Peoples-Jones was the number 1 wide receiver in the country, went there, and we saw how that thing ended.
Yeah. Now he's paying for it with his NFL career.
Correct. So for Michigan, this is a huge win. This is an identity win, and this is the team that I don't want to surprise Ohio State fans, right? I think I've been on it. Like, I want Michigan to be bad, right? I've said that.
Yeah, I've always said that.
But I also won't lie when they're not bad. And going into the year, people thought that this was going to be a bad football team. Tyler, this is not a bad football team, and that is an impressive win against Nebraska.
No, they're not a bad football team. They're not as good defensively as they were last year.
Okay,
but they're also significantly better offensively. So like the net rating is like they're better.
Mm-hmm.
They're better. They're so much better offensively. They're more better offensively than they are worse defensively. Is that English? Did I just speak English?
I mean, I almost had a stroke there in the middle of that, but thank you.
You know what I'm trying to say.
But do you think that their rushing defense is good?
It's okay. I mean, I just don't know how it can be better when you lose Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's
you know, it's just like talent wise, it's just I mean, if you well, Dylan Rail was sacked a bunch. He had 7 carries for negative 49 yards.
Yeah, I was gonna say those were all sacks. None of those were design runs. Michigan,
right? So they probably get averaged. I would say Nebraska probably averaged like 4 yards per carry, between 3 and 4 yards per carry. So, it was great. Like, I also question Nebraska's offensive line talent, but like the Michigan defense did their job.
Yeah, and I don't want to take away from this win because I think Nebraska is a good football team too.
I think
I think they both should have been ranked, is what I'll say. This should have been a ranked game.
I would say that Michigan or Nebraska's probably a 9-3 football team.
Yeah, and they should be ranked.
Which is a good team, not a great team.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think Dylan Raiola. I don't know how I don't really know how much better he looked good at times. But there are times where he like runs into his own sacks.
I think he's a lot better than last year.
I definitely think he's better than last year, but I'm also just at the same time like I was really expecting him to be like take the big leap. Like this was the year.
You can only take as big of a leap as you're surrounded by.
Sure,
no doubt. I thought he played pretty well. I mean, 7.5 yards per attempt, which is not great, but 308 yards and only the one interception. Like it's not a bad like when you are a younger quarterback and you throw the ball 41 times, and you're a true sophomore and you only have one pick. Like I think that's a good day.
I think it's one of the situations where both can be true in a sense that he played well enough to keep them in the game, but he also made mistakes that cost them from winning the game. Does that make sense?
It does. I think he's a good quarterback, and I think amongst his contemporaries that are in his class that he has looked very, very good.
Sure.
Like that's his first pick this year. He's making throws that are like, okay, like that is something like to me, he's taken a leap. And when I look around the country at other quarterbacks in his class, they haven't taken the leap. Like think about who his class was. It was Lagway.
Yeah.
I mean, the big three was Lagway, Sayin, and him.
Lagway's regressed.
And
Julian's played 3 games.
Sayin's probably better than Dylan Raiola, but Dylan Raiola only has 1 pick this year and has looked good against who he's played. Now I know
in all fairness, Julian also has, I don't know, a wholly different stratosphere of surrounding cast.
Yeah, he's got that one dude that God just said, you know what, you can have everything, and just prove to me that you have favorites, because God has favorites. And if you want to ask me how I know how, Jeremiah Smith, that's my only answer.
The big thing for me, and you kind of pushed back a little bit about how you thought the 1 score thing was a Scott Frost problem in Nebraska. It's a Matt Rule problem too. It's not a coaching. It's a Nebraska problem.
It's a Nebraska. That's a Nebraska.
Matt Rule is 2-11 in 1 score games in Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, does this one count for you though in that category? Because this game was a 2-score game until like the final whatever when Nebraska scored at the end.
I mean, you don't really count it in the moment, but like.
But it'll go on the
a year from now when we're talking about it. Like when we talk about Matt Rule a year from now, we're going to bring up that he was this game will count as a 1-score game. So like 100%. In this moment, we could say, well, it's not really, but like we're not going to talk about that a year from now. Like if Matt Rule is under fire, like and he's on the hot seat, we're not going to be like, oh, well, the 1-score game against Michigan in 2025. Like we're not going to say that.
100%.
So, they're unfair. It is what it is.
I think Michigan's going to end the year when they have to play Ohio State. I think they're going to finish as a top 10 team. Is that a bold take? I think by the time they get there, they'll be a top 10 football team. Here's what they got coming up: Wisconsin,
win.
USC,
going to be close. I think
they beat them last year, man.
Yeah,
worse. Now they were both probably worse, but still, I think stylistically, they are a matchup nightmare for USC.
For sure. No doubt. And I just wonder, and I do wonder if, I just wonder if we're ever going to see another Lincoln Riley manifesto game where it's like, man, he just carved somebody up.
Yeah.
It's just like you're holding out that. And I'm not saying like I would pick Michigan today.
But the teams he carves up are in the shootouts. He doesn't carve up the teams that don't have crazy offensive output.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think they beat Wisconsin. I think they beat USC. I think they beat Washington. I think they beat Michigan State. I think they beat Purdue. I think they beat Northwestern, and I think they beat Maryland. And that
if they're 10-1 going into the game, then they'll be ranked in the top 10.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. I think they will be a top 10 team. And honestly, I think that might help the image of Ohio State and Ryan Day even more. If he beats a good Michigan team, a Michigan team that is probably a top 10 team by the time they get there, I think that looks very good on him. Because like
what the conversation will then be. If let's just say for shits and giggles, they're both 10-1 going into the game. Both ranked in the top 10. This will be the first game in the new era of college football where you can the team that loses, their fan base can say the game doesn't matter because they're both in. It doesn't matter. They're both in the playoffs. It didn't mean anything. This will be the first time where you can legitimately say that.
Yeah, but that shit doesn't resonate with me.
No, it doesn't resonate with me either. I'm just bringing up like this will be the first instance in a 12-team playoff where they're going to both be in no matter what.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see how
I'll be interested to see how the narratives are spun. Well,
honestly, that only becomes a conversation if Michigan decides to manage Bryce Underwood's health instead of winning the game.
Yeah,
because think about it, the game meaning less if you apply it to real life. Like if you apply it to real life and like the coach's thought process of it all, who would that impact more, Ohio State or Michigan? It would impact Michigan.
Yeah, I would probably yeah.
Because the game meaning less would mean that we don't have to sell out to run our quarterback.
Yeah. Now here's another scenario. In the scenario that Michigan goes 10-1. Let's say Ohio State is 11-0. And they're in the Big Ten championship game no matter what. Done deal.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Penn State beats Oregon, Ohio State beats Penn State. We're 11-0, undefeated in the Big Ten. Michigan is 10-1, but undefeated in the Big Ten. Considering tiebreakers, like what would you? Ryan Day has to beat Michigan. I don't give a shit what the scenario is. I don't care. He's got to beat them.
You're trying to have because Ryan Day has no outpass here. He's got to win that game. So I won't even entertain that conversation at all. But I will say I want everybody to prepare themselves, Ohio State fans included. Look, I don't like Michigan. They're going to be a good football team this year.
Yeah. I think at worst case scenario, they're coming into the game as a 9-2 football team. I think that's worst case scenario.
Okay, I think worst case scenario is 8-3. I do see a world where they lose to USC and Washington.
I just don't think they lose to Washington because they're playing that game in Ann Arbor.
That's fair.
That's Washington coming across.
But I'm just talking about worst case scenario. Like worst case scenario. Like if someone at the end of the year said, okay, like they're heading into the Ohio State game, they lost to Washington and USC, I'd be like, okay, like that checks out. Now, I'm not going to pick them. And obviously I'll learn a lot more about Washington this upcoming week. But again, I just want good football team and them knowing their identity is important. I'm curious to see what Sherrone Moore does when he comes back. Next week, though, they have Wisconsin. And Wisconsin's bad.
Yeah, they have a bye and then they play Wisconsin. So Wisconsin's bad. So they're going to win that game.
With their eyes closed. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they stick to who they are, they're going to be a good team. And that's fine.
They're better than Ohio State fans want to admit, is what I'm trying to say.
Correct. That is for sure.
I do want to talk big on big because Indiana went belt to ass over Illinois.
Bro, what
Signetti
was that?
did it again, 63-10, and what was supposed to be a very close battle of kind of the B tier in the Big Ten. And I still think Illinois is a decent football team. I just think Indiana and Signetti were ready and are better than anybody wants to admit. We are now talking about We are now talking about Tyler. The last 3 games, offensive output for them, 56, 73, 63. They are scoring in bunches. They're scoring a ton of points. They feel the part. Mendoza's turned it on. They have playmakers outside. This Indiana team might be better than last year's Indiana team. And I thought there was no way that they could improve from last year.
Yeah, last year's Indiana is Indiana.
Yeah.
I can't believe what I watched. Not that I didn't think Indiana could win, because I picked Indiana to win and cover, but I didn't think it would look like that. That was like the water. There was a hole in the boat, and Illinois could not stop it from flooding. It was like they no matter what they did, no matter what they tried, they couldn't stop it. It was unbelievable.
Do you want to guess how many incompletions Mendoza had?
2.
He had 2 incompletions, 5 touchdowns. That is the performance of the weekend. He did exactly what he was asked to do. Did it at a high clip. 2 incompletions against Illinois, who I think is going to be good the rest of the way. Like this was a huge win for Indiana.
I mean, think about it. Illinois only had 1 turnover. 1.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear what Cignetti said after the game?
No.
We broke their will.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really disrespectful thing to say, but there's 100% truth in it.
But
no lies told in that statement.
Literally no lies. And this is great for Indiana because here we go. A lot of people are going to wonder, how do you duplicate the belief you had a year ago, given how things went when you played the really good teams on your schedule? Now, they weren't blowouts, but obviously not wins. This is how you bring the belief back. Cignetti getting up there. We broke their will. You hang 63 on them. A ridiculous number. A ridiculous number. Your running back goes over 100 with 2 touchdowns. Like they were doing whatever they wanted the entire game.
Do you believe that Cignetti is like a game plan guy, like a schemer?
Yeah.
Because they have a bye before they go to Oregon.
Yeah.
If I'm Oregon, I am nervous as hell about that game.
I mean, they should be. I mean, this team can score in bunches.
I mean, Indiana has at Iowa this week coming up. Then they have a bye, and then they go to Oregon. Like, bro, that game, depending on what happens this week, that game could be a top 5 matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana at Oregon. And the worst part about it is Fox won't be able to get that game because it'll be in Oregon.
Bingo.
That'll be a night game.
And do you know who their OC is?
No.
It's Mike Shanahan.
Oh, wow.
Hey, look, that Shanahan tag and you call plays, go with me.
Dude, I was honestly, I was so stunned and like, I'm kind of ready for, considering that Ohio State doesn't play Indiana this year, I'm all ready for the Cignetti like quotes that either he's gonna get lit up for or be celebrated for. I'm all ready for it. I think.
Have you heard him talk about why he does that?
No.
Well, so it's been a while, but he does that. He's gone on record to some media people saying that like he doesn't do it because he's some like egomaniac. But it's a psychology thing. If I present you with something so outlandish, like one way, it at least makes you to believe to this degree, like a little bit. So it's like he needs people in that building to believe. And to get them to believe that they're capable of being a 10-win team every year, he's got to tell them that they can win a national championship. Because then the pushback is like, no, we can't win a natty, but we might be able to win 10 games. Because if he goes on the record and so strong, oh, we're a 10-win team every year, then he believes that people inside that building will be like, yeah, we're not a 10-win team. We're probably like an 8-win team. So he says that he's so ridiculous with that kind of thing because he needs people in that building to believe. Because when people in that building believe a certain way, they'll go about their business a little bit better.
Sure.
Because if you don't believe you can do anything, then why would you ever go into battle against Georgia to recruit Mendoza? Right? Like,
Yeah.
if you don't believe you can win a national title, why would you ever compete with Penn State for anybody, for a player?
Sure.
And so he needs people to buy into that. So that's why he's so egregiously over the top.
I mean, I got to be honest with you. I have only paid attention to Indiana football for 1 week in the last 5 years, and that was last year, the week before we played them.
Yeah.
And they had my undivided attention, and now they have my undivided attention again.
Well, I just think it's fascinating. He does it for people inside the building. He doesn't care what anybody outside the building thinks. He does it for people inside the building. So the line about we broke their will, he knows that's going to get used across whatever.
Sure.
But now people in the building, it's we're good enough to break this team's will and go belt to ass on a top 10 team.
Bro,
they beat a
he
top
didn't
10
lie.
team by 50.
He didn't lie.
No, but I'm saying they beat a top 10 team by 50.
Yeah.
That's the win of the year. That's the win of the year for me. Signetti, win of the year. I believe that if Indiana is not ranked in the top 10 when that AP comes out, then something is drastically wrong.
Yeah, there's no reason why they shouldn't be. So
yeah, well, it gets weird. Want to jump ahead, dog? The Clemson shit. It's done. It's gone. It's over. I love a successful hate watch. This confirmed to me that Dabo Swinney unraveling at the press conference has everything to do with his imposter syndrome, and his imposter syndrome caught up to him. He does not think he's good enough to be the coach at Clemson, and he's showing us now that he's not good enough to be the coach at Clemson. No. He's lost it. It's not good anymore. And for me, last week I thought was really awesome because I thought it was the announcement that, okay, Georgia Tech is here. We're here. We're flipping the culture. We're going to recruit the area really well, and us beating Clemson mattered because Clemson's a good football team. Now, that win isn't over a good football team. That win is over the Florida State of this year. Florida State last year. Clemson beat them. Or no, not Clemson. Florida State last year. Georgia Tech beat them, right? We thought that was a really big win, a really good win. And then what happened, Tyler?
Yeah, they stunk.
Exactly. That is where Clemson is right now. But Dabo Swinney, unlike Mike Norvell, who went and spent a ton of money in the portal to correct course and fix this, Dabo's never been that guy. Yes, they use the portal here and there, but he's never been that guy. Additionally, I think the things that matter in Dabo Swinney's program is unlimited belief and unlimited trust in your coach. I'm here to tell you right now, the kids don't trust that program and people don't believe in that program. It's officially dead and gone. He cried on the sideline after losing to Syracuse in what was not a close game. So now on the Clemson docket, you have a loss to LSU, a win over Troy that was a very not good win. It was ugly. You should have lost the game, to be honest, and the rain delay might have saved you. A loss to Georgia Tech and then a loss to Syracuse that wasn't even close. You are a bad football program. You are a bad football team. People are going to ask you questions, and Dabo Swinney is mentally not strong enough to take hitting the peaks and now hitting the valleys. I think this is going to continue to get very, very ugly because Dabo Swinney is not good enough and does not believe in himself enough to have any more good press conferences, because when he does, when he tries to, put things back together, he's going to get pushed and he's going to continue to crumble and unravel. Dabo's program is dead and gone. And this hate watch, for me, was the most successful hate watch of all time. Because not only am I hate watching a team lose, I'm hate watching a team dig their own grave and jump in. It's over. The Clemson program's over. It's dead. It's buried. It's gone. They will never be back. And I'll be the first to say it. Kate Klubnik and DJ, you need a podcast because my life was ruined by Dabo Swinney. Here's why. Bang. Play it. 5-star all everything guy, man. They both were. It's disgusting. I'm glad it came to the hands of Fran Brown. I believe, what are they, 1-3 now, Clemson? After a lot of people picked them to win the national championship. I picked them to win the ACC. It's not happening. They suck.
Let's play a game. I only want you to say win if you know within your heart of hearts they're going to win that game. Okay?
Okay.
North Carolina.
Win.
At Boston College.
Yeah,
you hesitated. You can't hesitate. That's the rule. There's no hesitation. If you hesitate, you can't say win.
Well, I like Boston College, but here we go. Win. No, it's a win. Boston College is bad. They're 1-2. They're bad.
All right. Southern Methodist.
That's a win for SMU. Not Clemson losing that game.
Duke.
That's
Florida State.
Florida State wins.
At Louisville.
That's a win for Clemson.
Okay,
No, it's
so
not. Is it?
I don't think so. I don't think you can pencil that in as a win.
I got Louisville. Okay, Louisville.
So right now we have 2. All right, Furman
That's a win for Clemson.
at South Carolina.
Toss up because I think they're bad too.
Okay, so you've basically given them 3. 4, and 8.
4-8.
Let's say 4 and 8.
The demise will be televised, right? I mean, here's the thing. I don't know who I can pencil them in to beat. Like, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to play that. That was the stipulation of that game.
Yeah. Now they'll talent them their way to a couple upsets, but it's bad. And Dabo looks completely broken, Tyler. Like completely broken.
Okay. Dabo Sweeney's buyout is also $60 million.
And no, he's not.
He ain't going nowhere.
Honestly, the best thing for him to do is become Mike Gundy. Just not give a shit. Just be bad and don't care, right? That's what Oklahoma State's got going on, right?
You think that's why he said that they can fire him? If they get tired of winning, they can fire him because like he knows they can't fire. They can't afford to fire him.
No, they can't afford to fire him, and he's a folk legend. Like he's there. Like it's.
Whew. Yeah, I think you said it all. I don't need to say anything about Clemson. I think your little rant there was electric, and I couldn't agree more.
You know how many times they dropped back against Syracuse?
Too many.
Talk. They dropped back 61 times.
If you're Kay Klubnik, does he have another year of eligibility?
No, he should not because he's same class as Quinn Ewers.
But he could because it's college football and you never really know.
Well, he jumped a class, but I don't think so. Here we go. He dropped back 61 times. How many sacks do you think Syracuse had?
5.
1.
Oh.
Only 1 sack. You drop back 61 times. They kept you clean. You're a veteran quarterback, and you can't go nuts.
If you're Garrett Riley, you got to leave, right? Like you got to leave.
Yeah. Oh,
you can't stay.
See you later.
Like you telling your agent, like, "Hey, go find me a new job. I don't care where it is. I don't care. Like Power 4, Group of 5, it does not matter. I need out of here. Mm-hmm. I need to go somewhere where I can prove that I can still do this because I'm going down with the ship."
Dog, Clemson outgained them in yards and had more sacks and had more tackles for loss, and they still lost by double digits.
Bro, that's insane.
Yeah.
His program, they stink, dude.
It's over, big dog. It's over. Throw the whole thing away. Put the whole thing in the trash.
It's over. Cooked. Hibachi.
Yeah. It's a bad deal. Just a couple quick notes. UGA, Bama, and Ohio State have all been on byes. Washington went over Washington State. USC over Michigan State. Miami avoided the upset over Florida, which was big. Obviously
still covered.
I thought Florida might have a shot because they are talented, but they're a broken program too. Media darling South Carolina is now 2-2. What a disappointment they've been. The big question: who is good in the SEC, Tyler?
Well, I'm going to say Georgia's good. I'm going to say that Ole Miss is an intriguing follow. I think they're the next tier.
Mm-hmm.
They're the next team, I'd say. I still think LSU, I think their talent. I think somebody's going to have. I think somebody will beat them, but until somebody beats them, I don't think LSU should be ranked number 3 in the country. But I still think that they are legitimate SEC title contenders. Texas is also going to be there as well. So I would say somewhere in there. Did Missouri? Yeah, Missouri beat South Carolina. So Missouri is also good.
Yeah,
but
Missouri beat them by 9.
And Alabama needs to win this game to re-enter the chat, as far as I'm concerned.
They have Georgia next week. Yeah.
Yeah. So Georgia and Alabama play. If Alabama wants to re-enter the chat in my world, they need to beat Georgia.
What are your thoughts on Oklahoma after they kind of struggled with Auburn a little bit?
Here's my concern about Oklahoma. I think John Mateer is really, really good. The problem I have with Oklahoma is they ask him to do everything, and I don't think John Mateer is Cam Newton.
No, he's definitely smaller. He ran the ball 10 times for 29 yards, 2.9 yards per carry. So he's taking some hits. He had to run a little bit more than I think he would have liked to this week. But it's not going to be as effective. It's like a sneak up on a lot of people. They do have Kent State next and then Texas, and that's going to be the second big litmus test. Can you keep him healthy against Kent State and then unleash him fully? Because they got to use him like Georgia Tech uses Haynes King. You just have to go pedal.
And I just don't know if that's going to work in the SEC. Like I think that works in the ACC because the ACC is really bad.
I think it works in the SEC.
I just don't know if you can do it over and over and over again.
I think the thing that is the issue is health, not whether it works or not. I mean, Jack.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean health. I meant health. I do mean health. When I say that, I do mean health.
Gotcha. I thought you were talking about just like I'm like no.
No. We've seen plenty of quarterbacks do that in the SEC. Like it works. I just don't know health wise. Like Cam Newton was a freak. He was a freak, dude.
Well, and John isn't as big as Haynes is 6'4".
Yeah. John Mateer he's a little bit smaller, a little slighter. So like, I mean, if Oklahoma goes and beats Texas, like they're absolutely the real thing. They really, really are the real thing. And it's just like I just don't know if the way that they want to play is going to survive the schedule that they have. Because they play and like the SEC is a bunch. I think the SEC is a bunch of average to above average football teams.
Yeah.
I think that's what they are. And like when you get to play that every week, though, I will say that's their claim. Their claim is that they play their realistic claim is that they play a bunch of above average football teams every week. They don't play great teams every week. They play a bunch of above average teams every single week. And like, does that wear on you? Sure. But like, you know, does the Big Ten has Purdue? The SEC has Mississippi State. They suck. They are terrible.
Correct.
So like, I don't want to hear it. It's all the same shit to me personally. Like, and I think the top end of the Big Ten is way better than the top end of the SEC.
Yeah, I don't think
not even close.
Yeah, I don't think and this year no one can argue with you on that one at all.
Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, Indiana,
and
I mean, if you want to include Michigan in there too, you can include Michigan. Like,
I don't include Michigan in there yet because they lost to Oklahoma. So I'm like, it's part of my argument right now. Just
okay. So, but just name the top three: Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State. They're better than all of the best team in the SEC.
Correct, 100%. I think Tennessee, or I guess the big three in the SEC is what? Tennessee, Georgia, Texas.
Yeah, I just personally, I just think Georgia is going to walk to the SEC title, man.
Yeah,
I think they're just better. I think they're better than everybody else by a margin, but like the fear factor, the respect for Kirby, like I think that's also playing a part in this. Like when teams are going to go to Athens, like they're going to have to deal with that, and like that's a hard thing to deal with. So I think they're going to walk to another SEC title again, and they're going to get a bye, and they're probably going to be, at worst 11-2.
Yeah,
so it's like, yeah, SEC stinks.
The big movers, I think this weekend, I'm expecting Oklahoma to probably be around that 8 to 10 rank. I think A&M, we didn't really include them. I think A&M is probably one of the best teams in the SEC.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, where do all these teams fit?
Well, it's funny. I think A&M could beat Georgia in an SEC title game. I think they could.
Yeah, I think. But I think what we're saying is that anybody in the SEC can beat anybody. Well, does that actually make you like the best league?
No, Tyler. I've never even had the words that they're the best league.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm talking about like nationally. Like, not everybody in the Big Ten.
I think nationally people don't think they're the best league. At least I think so.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I think people kind of get it now because like people like can accept like the very best team in the sport is Ohio State. Most people think that the second best team in the sport is Oregon.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's all very fun to watch. I'm excited to see kind of it unfold. Is there anything else from this past week?
I don't think so. Not a crazy weekend. Oh, wait, the new AP poll is already out.
Oh, here we go. Let's do it.
They got Indiana 12. Texas Tech at 14. That was the only pick you got wrong over the weekend.
Yeah, I was 4-1.
Yeah.
12-6 on the year. So if you want to start tailing,
they've got
don't yell at me though when this shit's fucked up.
They got Ohio State 1, Penn State 2, Georgia 3. Ohio State got 61% of first place votes. Penn State got 61 first place votes. Penn State got 3 first place votes. Georgia got 1 first place vote. And the only 2 other schools receiving first place votes, Oregon and Miami. LSU received 0, even though they're ranked number 4. Florida State bumped up 1. A&M bumped up 1. Oklahoma bumped up 2 to number 10. Texas Tech bumped up 2. Vandy is now ranked number 20. They bumped up 3. Michigan bumped up to 18. They're 1 behind Georgia Tech, and then Alabama dropped down 2 on their day off. So that's what we have ranking wise from the AP poll, I guess. Or no, that's the coaches poll.
I think if you had to ask me my top 5, I would say Ohio State, Miami, Oregon, Penn State, or I would say Georgia, Penn State. Just because I think Georgia has 1 quality win. That's the only reason I give them the nod over Penn State, but it's close.
Yeah. So there's no AP poll out. That was just the coaches poll. The AP poll will come out at any point now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's what we have so far. I'm excited for Ohio State to be back in action. Obviously, we didn't have a ton of content on the channel because Ohio State was on a bye, but we will be full force as we approach the Washington game and as we see
next week is a banger next week.
Yeah, next week's going to be a wild week. So be on the lookout. Hit the bell, hit the notification, hit the like, and then leave a comment below. I'm Chris. That's Tyler. Thanks for coming to our Culture Ball recap video.
Peace.